Nobody is forcing you to work this hard. No boss is standing over you. No law is demanding it. No one is threatening you. You are doing it to yourself. Voluntarily, enthusiastically, with the full belief that you are free. And that, according to a philosopher almost no one in the English-speaking world has heard of, is the most sophisticated form of control ever invented. His name is Byung-Chul Han. He is a Korean-born philosopher living in Berlin, and in a book called The Burnout Society, written in 2010 but describing 2026 with terrifying accuracy. He said something that should permanently change how you understand your own exhaustion. You are not burned out because the world is too demanding. You are burned out because you have become your own oppressor. To understand what Han means, you need to understand how control used to work. For most of human history, society controlled people through the word no. You shall not do this. You are not permitted to go there. You must obey this rule, this authority, this institution. Han calls this the disciplinary society, prisons, factories, hospitals, schools, external walls, external guards, external punishment for stepping out of line. This system worked, but it had a limit. You can only push a person so hard before they push back. So something changed. Modern society did not get rid of control. It made control invisible. Instead of no, it replaced every prohibition with a single intoxicating word. Yes, you can do anything. You can be anyone. You can achieve everything if you just work hard enough. Hustle culture, self-optimization, be the best version of yourself. No days off, rise and grind. Han calls this the Achievement Society. And he says, quietly, precisely, devastatingly, it is far more effective than anything that came before. Because the old system needed guards, it needed prisons, it needed punishment. The Achievement Society needs none of that. You are the guard, you are the prisoner, and you cannot see the bars because you built them yourself and called them ambition. Han writes, everyone is an auto-exploiting laborer in their own enterprise. People are now master and slave in one. Think about what that means. The person who wakes up at 5 a.m. to optimize, the person who cannot rest without guilt, the person who checks their phone before they open their eyes, the person who measures their own worth by their productivity. That person is not free. That person has internalized a system so completely that they no longer need anyone to enforce it. They enforce it on themselves every morning. This is what Han calls self-exploitation. And he argues it produces something the old disciplinary society never could. In the old system, when the oppression came from outside, at least you knew who the enemy was. You could resist. You could rebel. You could say, not me, not today, not this. In the Achievement Society, the oppression comes from inside. Who do you rebel against when the oppressor is yourself? Han says this is why the dominant illness of our time is not anger or defiance. It is depression. Depression, in Han's framework, is not weakness. It is not a chemical imbalance to be fixed with a pill. It is what happens when a person who has been told they can achieve anything discovers that they cannot. When the achievement subject, who has been running on maximum, who has been squeezing every drop out of themselves, who has been their own most ruthless employer, finally hits the wall and has nothing left. Han writes, "The depressive individual is unable to measure up. He is tired of having to become himself." Tired of having to become himself. That sentence is worth stopping on, because that is exactly what the Achievement Society demands. Not that you do your job, not that you follow the rules, but that you constantly become, constantly improve, constantly reinvent, constantly optimize the project of yourself. And that, Han says, is exhausting in a way that no previous form of labor has ever been, because it never ends. There is no factory whistle, no closing time, no moment when you have done enough, because you are not just a worker in the Achievement Society. You are the product, and the product can always be improved. So what is Han actually asking us to do? Not to stop working, not to abandon ambition, not to reject achievement entirely. He is asking us to do something far more difficult. He is asking us to stop, not to recover so we can work again, not to rest as a productivity strategy, to stop as an end in itself. Han believes that the capacity for genuine rest, for boredom, for silence, for doing nothing, is not laziness. It is the one thing the Achievement Society cannot commodify. The one act of genuine resistance available to you. Because the moment you stop optimizing yourself, the moment you sit in silence without reaching for your phone, the moment you allow yourself to be bored, you have escaped the system. Briefly, incompletely, but really. Han was writing about productivity culture and digital society in 2010. Before the gig economy, before AI anxiety, before the era when your job could disappear overnight, and you would be told to rebrand yourself, upskill yourself, reinvent yourself, as if you were a startup that had missed its quarterly targets. He saw all of it coming, and his diagnosis was not that the world was too hard. His diagnosis was that we had swallowed the world's expectations so completely that we could no longer tell the difference between what we genuinely wanted and what the Achievement Society had trained us to want. Nobody is forcing you to work this hard. And that is exactly the problem. This is Philokimi. We will see you in the next one.